I'd like to say good morning to everyone.
Morning.
Good morning. Mr. Campbell said, I always said repetition is a good lesson, but this is a real good lesson. Because when we studied this lesson, we had to go back and do some research and brought back, stuff that we had read before.
Yeah.
I don't really know where to start at, but God had told Abraham in the book of Genesis that his family would go into a foreign land, and they would be in slavery for 400 years, and they would serve a foreign person.
Yeah.
But we see this thing has started to come to pass. We also see right here that his brothers made fun of him, but they called him a dreamer. But we can see today that his dreams did come true because, see, he told them that they was going to bow down to him. Even his father didn't believe that. But now we had the root of the problem was Jacob, because Jacob never should show partiality in the boy. And that's where the whole trouble began. That's why they wanted to kill him. But Reuben spoke up and said, no, it's not killing, we'll throw him in this well. And he had the intention of coming back and getting him. But some sort of way, the sheep got lost, and so they went after them. And they sold them to the Ishmaelites. So this, and the reason I'm saying that, see, in the 4th chapter, he said, and Joseph said to his brother, come near to me, I pray that. And they came near, and he said, I am Joseph, your brother, whom ye sold in Egypt. So when I read that made me go back to Genesis and that whole thing that unfolded, how they sold him. And he ended up in Potter's house last week. But what I didn't know was that through all of this, Joseph knew.
Yeah.
We found out today that Joseph, evidently, he knew that he wasn't going to be killed or anything because he had this dream, and his dreams always came true. And his brothers hadn't bowed down to him yet. He knew that had to transpire. So, and I was saying to myself, I said, wish I knew what, God had planned for me in my life. And also, you can look back at Joseph. We can look back at other ones, good people, like David. He committed adultery, he coveted, and he murdered. But he was a good person. When we study Joseph, we can't find no bad thoughts about him. Except when he sent, the second time when he sent him back, he gave Benjamin more than he gave the rest of them. So he even showed a difference.
Whole
so
brothers.
Whole brothers. But you still could say is, when we should learn from our other people's mistakes, because that was his father's mistake. And even when in the 50th chapter of Genesis, well, let me go back to something else that was very important in the 44th chapter of Judah, when he tricked and put that cup in Benjamin's hand. Oh, did Judah make an appeal? And way back in the other one, he was the one that came up with the idea, let's sell it. That way we'll have some money. So, and then we know that Jesus came from the tribe of Judah. So he had started to step up already. And we know this, it's just good how the Bible come together, because it should have came from Reuben, because Reuben was the oldest. Well, Reuben wouldn't have slept with his daddy's handmaid. So God took it from him. Then Levi and Simeon, they beat that man for raping their sister. So they had blood on their hand. That's how it fell down to Judah. And the reason I'm saying this is how we believe. This is where my faith comes from. When I search the Bible and it's all laid out. And it be laid out, years and years, they would say something that was going to happen. And it was years and years later on when it happened, just like God had said it would. When they thought Isaiah was crazy because he was going around saying a virgin was going to have a baby. And you see, but you got to feel sorry for him because that never transpired during his lifetime. But see, that's, and so then he was saying, because we were discussing in language meeting, because we are brainwashed as Christians, just like the people that believe the other way, they're brainwashed. But we're brainwashed, but ours is good because we can trace the scripture. Thank God for King James that got it turned over and I translated where we all can read for ourselves. Because you know at one time, the Catholics, I'm not raining on them, but they were selling him. You remember Martin Luther? He was the one. That's why they almost killed him because he said that they would say it was heresy because he was under the impression that you can't sell. It's free. So to me, it was a wonderful lesson. I was saying, if Francine them did me wrong, and I had a chance to get back, and that it just all where you at in your spiritual growth at that time. See that, and you know he said it twice in this lesson. In the 5th verse, he told them that what y'all did for bad, he came out to be for good. He said in the 5th chapter, and he repeated again in the 5th verse, and then he repeated again in the 8th verse that he didn't hold no grudge for them. But you know when Jacob died, they still believed that David was going to do them, that Joseph was going to do them some wrong because when he died, they said surely that Joseph would kill us now. So they never did believe that he had forgave them.